Alright, howdy folks, I'm Derek, and welcome to the Neon Museum. Now, for many of the most historic places in Las Vegas, all that's really left today is the sign. And that includes this one behind me with this very elegant fluid script style that originally spelled out Moulin Rouge. Now, the Moulin Rouge opened not too far from here on Bonanza Road in 1955 as the first major racially integrated casino in Las Vegas. Now, that was a pretty big deal at the time, since the strip hotels were segregated. So that even meant that the well-known, well-liked black performers on the strip couldn't necessarily hang out in the places they performed, nor could they get a room, dine there, gamble there, and so on. Now, the Moulin Rouge led to that changing. So it was popular with an interracial audience, and it got a lot of attention, a lot of publicity when it first opened. Quickly became a popular spot for locals, tourists, as well as celebrities. Although it didn't last long in its initial run. It closed down after only about 5 months in operation. Now, that was likely due to mismanagement, and there were efforts to reopen and revitalize the Moulin Rouge over the years, but it never really achieved the same level of initial success. Now, the Moulin Rouge did go on to play another pretty important role here in March of 1960. That was when a group of local civil rights activists, led by Dr. James McMillan, threatened a mass march on the strip in protest of hotel segregation. Now, that never actually happened. Instead, they were able to organize a meeting with various leaders at the Moulin Rouge, where they ultimately reached the Moulin Rouge Agreement. And that led to the end of hotel segregation in Las Vegas. Now, another important thing to note about this sign here is its designer. This was designed by Betty Willis, and she was one of the few women sign designers active here in the 1950s and 1960s. Now, what she did for this sign, and this was when she was working at Western Neon Sign Company, she basically went to the library, studied French-style lettering, and then drew this design out, which was more common in the days before computers. Now, you all may have heard the name Betty Willis before. She is indeed the designer who's also responsible for designing what is probably the most famous Las Vegas sign ever, "Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas," on the south end of the strip. Thanks for joining me today.